Hello and welcome to the latest installment of Pathfinder, the Carrion Crown from D6 Damage. We're happy that you are able to join us today. Let's not waste any more time and get into the recap. Take it away, Doomboy.
I had to go sprinting up a staircase to shut a door before we started. I forgot. Welcome, everyone. So let's get to that recap. Our party had a bit of difficulty after battling the various forces within Harrowstone. Speaking with Soriana, they managed to gather some information about the comings and goings of the haunted Harrowstone, and managed to finally break through the vault doors and find some treasure. With keen eyes on our occultist Deacon and Jack, they managed to find a hidden cache with 5 haunted items that carried great power connecting to the Harrowstone 5. They found that these items had a cursed potential, with the flute possessing Jack to play after Cyphus handed it to him. They made their way back, licking their wounds, and decided that, while some of them had research to do, others needed to feast and be merry. They found that another letter had been placed upon the statue, this time E, and a body had been discovered, scattered throughout Ravengro. The party reconvened at Kendra's place, having finally learned how to cook somewhat better from Raphael. Hello. And Jack and Deacon, branded by Harrowstone, had a strange dream of the past where they met the Splatterman and the Lopper. As their dreams came to an end, though, they saw a figure that looked like Cyphus drowning them. We awake now in Kendra's abode as Jack is getting ready to strangle the life out of Cyphus.
But before we discuss that, we also leveled up. And I think it would be a good thing to do if we went over what we did, what we got, what choices we made. So why don't we start off with our recap red cap, D12, a.k.a. Jack.
I'm giving you bonus experience just for that.
D12, you with us?
Yes, I am. However, am I?
Yes.
Am I really?
Yes, we can confirm. The blood trail is there and everything.
So, Jack, would you be willing to tell us about your character level up, what you've done, and the path you've moved?
Yeah, I guess so, but apparently my voice and microphone are not picking up the same voice that I'm throwing at you guys.
What do you mean by that?
Or something. Well, apparently every time I speak in Jack's voice, you can't hear me.
I can hear you there.
Now you can hear me.
It's been a day for technical difficulties, folks. Bear with us.
Yeah, apparently.
I miss Jack being from Brooklyn, if you want me to be honest.
I do too.
He'll go back there as soon as we get back to a place where he feels very comfortable.
Well, Jack's uncomfortable. He just takes a little huff from his helium tank to feel better.
What are you doing over there, over here, over there, over here?
Exactly. He just goes up an octave. Up, up, up. That and the mucus in my throat's making it really hard to go Brooke.
Oh. I think my next character has to be named Vinny.
Alright, so what Jack decided to do is he went ahead and progressed farther along in the hunter tree, making sure to grab a secondary animal companion and the precise companion trait outflank instead of the arrow ability.
Woot.
Precise
Jack
shot.
was kind enough to tell me about this moments before the stream.
The which basically increases my BAB, fort, and reflex up by 1, gives me 1 more second level spell, and it allows Jack the ability to track, so now he and the animals can track instead of just the animals. Nothing other major came about this other than a secondary animal companion.
What animal companion? I guess that'll come up narratively.
Yes,
Yes,
it
that
will.
was very.
Yes, it will.
All right. What about you, Ferric? What'd you do?
D4's like, what?
Very what have you?
I actually can't remember.
How about you, Rigel? What did you do?
Well, on my end, I didn't get much as far as much of level up as far as other base upgrades and such. I did unlock some other skills, and I guess the direction I'm going is more adaptability. Granted, I'm not trying to take anyone's position, but make it more Rigel. My character is more just more adaptable, and he can help in gathering information. But I guess how much I can unlock is a little bit by bit. But most beings help, and well, I guess character build wise, I'm trying to, I guess, look into other things like feats and such. I'm really trying to sort that out before I unlock my first one. I did get an interesting ability for the Magus, the Spell Strike, which, if I understand it, I can channel spells and magical energy through my weapon. Now, I guess I have some other questions beforehand, but for now, I guess it's a good thing, and I'll try to work that in the narrative of the story. Most likely, accidentally, trying to cast a spell and then have a sword in hands, like, whoa! Okay, didn't expect that to happen, but something like that. But, yeah, it's relatively early from my end, as far as that, so I'm still in the planning phase, which is good, but I think I got some, like, concepts I'm gonna see if I can execute beforehand, but like everything else in the game, as the campaign the DM dictateth, so shall it be.
Well, one way to interpret your spell strike is you're progressing further in your art, your balancing of magic and martial combat.
Yeah. And particularly since Virgil had one path he was going to in his life, but fate had other plans. And maybe the gods as well, but we'll see what that happens.
All right, who wants to go next?
Why don't you go?
All right, I'll go next. So I took another level in occultist because this is what I set out to do. You don't get a whole lot at occultist second level, but you do get a couple of things. First off, my base save, both for fortitude and will, went up by 1. Now, that's important for Deacon because I'm going in with the item mastery feats, and those run off of your fortitude save. So next level, I'll be taking my first item mastery feat, which will give me an extra cure with my transmutation implement, which is something that actually got unlocked at this level as well. So I will be able to use its base focus power called Servitor, which lets me use Summon Monster as a spell-like ability. So that's pretty cool. I also got a occultist special version of object reading, which I can do 1 time per day, which means I can do 2 object readings per day, but the occultist one is just an auto success. Be like, yeah, no rolls necessary. I just know.
Nice. Nice.
What about you, Mr. Cyphus? How much has your day darkened from light?
Oh my gosh, it was quite the effort deciding what I wanted to do when I leveled up, and I eventually took a level in Bard. Actually, I took a level in a archetype called Fortune Teller, which allows me to, when I use my bardic performance, choose one member of my party or one enemy, and I roll percentile to see if I can increase my bonus slash debuff on that target by 1 as well as having everyone else be boosted. So we will see if I can end up giving somebody +2 hit and damage. That was the main thing I got. Apart from that, what I got is the skills! I am rolling in skill points. Holy crap, I have so much skills! Yeah, it's just so many skills. +12 at level 2. Why not? Have it on 3 or 4 different skills. Let's just do it. I have all the knowledges now. No knowledge is beyond me. I can do everything untrained. Yeah, that's pretty great.
You go, Glen Coco.
Oh, speaking of, I did put points in disabled device and knowledge history because someone keeps being very insistent on rolling knowledge history and having device
Thumbs up.
disabled.
I like to roll history.
Well, y'all can roll history together.
He can assist me in rolling history.
Well, speaking of which, on my end, I got knowledge history and knowledge local as far as my unlocks, so that'll be helpful.
Guys, cramping my style. While you
Just the
muscling in on my skill terrain.
Just the opposite.
Skill turf.
I'll think of it as some unpaid assistance.
Yeah, that's what it is. Slavery?
What the? No.
All right, so I think we saved the best for last. D Hundo.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. You are joking on me.
Still gotta get Gregor.
Merhaba everyone, this is Rafael Ibn Al-Badawi. Shukran. How are you? Yes, I just went up 1 level in base cleric, so pretty par for the course. I got a couple extra spells, you know. I got an extra cantrip. So now, oh, I wanted to ask you boys, with the cantrip, I was up in the air between between read magic, yes, read magic, or resistance.
I would take
So-
resistance.
So I don't need read magic in order to use a scroll. I want?
Yeah.
Okie doke, cool. So I will go with resistance. Anyway, that's about it.
Wait, are you serious? No, not you. No, not you. Not you. Not you. Oh, all right.
Oh. Roll20 is being a bit argumentative with us today as Gregor
Oh man, are you
just lost
serious?
his entire character.
No, I didn't lose
happened?
my entire character sheet. I lost all my feats and stuff. It wiped all my feats and all the stuff I had written down for my skills previously.
Oh no.
That's obnoxious.
It is gone.
Yeah.
Luckily, there
alright.
wasn't that many.
Yeah, true.
So
that.
It was just...
Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
get it
people.
sorted out. No worries on that.
People stop hitting
Do we
buttons.
want
I
to
can't
take a
work.
5-minute break or
Sorry, what was that, Doom Boy?
I was going to ask if we could take a 5-minute break to get that sorted.
We can continue on with some of the other things. Just don't ask Grigori to make any rolls for the next till we get it sorted out.
All right, Gregor,
Alright,
put your
yeah,
hands
after.
in your pockets, don't touch anything, just
Just let
Yeah.
the RP flow.
Yeah.
Let it flow through
Gregory,
you.
you're on RP until I finish correcting your character sheet. Sorry, buddy.
limited plot lines.
Well, to be fair, you can also grace us with Gregori's actual knowledge on things, so until it really gets sorted out.
All right, who's on his sheet right now?
You?
Okay, good.
Just caught on the Star Wars group just playing D. Palpatine's the DM. Roll for it.
We're screwed. We're screwed.
But think of the unlimited experience, guys.
Yeah, but that's only for him.
Palpatine tells Anakin about his one character build that got to crit on a 4. How do I learn this power?
Oh. That's how that.
Anywho, yes, as we
Paladin's charisma.
off, Cyphus, for once your dreams are not plagued with darkness. You find yourself relaxed at your home, surrounded by some good old books, your mother and father nearby, just making sure you're comfortable. At one point, your mother
All right,
throwing
now
a
I know
blanket
this is
over you
fake.
and giving you a kiss on the forehead.
Do I have any control over this dream?
No, you're just reading and indulging in a good book.
Because if I have any control, I am terrified, and this is not how it should be. So if I have any lucidity in this dreaming, I am resisting it.
As you begin to notice that something is amiss, you do know that the blanket's rather snug on you.
Okay, I don't like that.
As you try and struggle to get it off you, you find it starting to squeeze around your throat, making it difficult for you to breathe.
Well, there was that. I embraced the death.
Oh,
It had to happen at some point.
It's at this moment that you awake and see Jack standing on you, strangling you.
Oh, this is the way I was meant to go. I touch him and give him a vision of madness for +1 to an attack roll.
Well, he doesn't fight fate. You can give him that.
Well, it also gives him -1 on saving throws and on skill checks, so someone might be able to get him off me.
I will walk into the room and I will say, Jack,
I'm
please,
a fool! It's
Jack, stop.
No!
Yeah, stop.
No!
We need him alive.
Why?
He's the one that we ask questions to when we don't know what we're doing, which happens more often than I like.
And Raphael is spending all of this time in the kitchen cooking. He doesn't hear any of this. He's just like...
It's like Jack slowly lets off pressure as he's thinking about this, trying to use the rational part of his mind.
Petra's actually woken early with you. She's starting to get on your schedule, Raphael, and she's cooking with you.
She's a bad guy, I'm telling you guys.
She's picking on your cooking skills as well. Essentially putting in the same spice and whatnot, though she does complain that she's going to have to run to the market again to get all the...
First world problems.
No, first world problems are things like Jack.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
First
Oh my god, that's a great joke. Oh, I hope everyone in the chat understood that joke, because that was really good.
Oh my god, that was too good. Oh.
You're being strangled.
That's a good joke.
I will go up and I will pull Jack's hands off of him.
Strength roll? Opposing strength checks?
Grapple? Roll combat. Oh, well, Jack's the combat maneuver defense, that's right.
Alright, let's see.
And what's Jackie's defense? Also, I will continue to refer to Jack as Jackie until I die.
Jackie's
Busy.
defense
Somebody else check it.
is 15.
Oh yeah, you're busy.
So I got a 15. His is 15. So I think I may have.
Nothing happens. Oh wait, no, this isn't opposed, so I guess yeah, you do meet the DC.
You do, in fact, manage to yank him off of him, giving Cyphers a brief respite for air.
Oh my god, you yanked him off.
Gross.
Fire
Will
hit
someone
either.
tell me why I'm being strangled? It's not that I don't appreciate it.
We're learning things about
No one
I
blow the
believe that
bell.
Jack and I had some sort of vision last night of Harrowstone, and you were there and possibly responsible for our maybe implied deaths.
Well, I had
and you
a
were
very
there.
bad nightmare just now.
So were you.
Did you see the?
I was
prison?
in.
Did you see the?
No, I was in a normal family. And everything was fine. And I was happy. And
then
that
what
scares me. Then I was getting choked. But, I mean, that's kind of par for the course. It's actually more strange for me to not have a nightmare where I'm getting choked.
happened? Okay.
Is it really a nightmare, though?
Is what I had a nightmare? Yes! Listen, it's not right when I start imagining my father and mother.
Boy.
That's not right. That's strange. I'm an orphan. I don't have a mother or father.
Oh,
It's like I was in someone else's dream.
Alright, I'm going to lead.
Can I
Cycus
do an
over-
arcane check to try and interpret this dream?
By all means,
I'm going to lead
I'll let
Cycus,
you guys roll whatever. I don't care.
have him lay on the couch, and then I'm going to open up my notebook and start taking notes and ask him, okay, now tell me about your mother, yeah?
No!
God, if there's any arcane
It's
significance to this dream.
That'd be a great cleric.
Roll me a
So it'd
knowledge.
probably be a mesmerist, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. What's that, DM?
Roll me a knowledge planes. Also, the therapist class is DM exclusive.
Not nearly as good at planes with a 13.
Oh.
So,
Can I roll?
yes, you can.
Okay, so at some point during the explanation, I'm going to say, and what do you think it means? And
Well, if I had to guess, with a 25,
If I had to guess, I'm paying you $200 a fucking session, so what about what you think?
I'm not paying you to have me solve my problems.
Therapy. What you get, it's good for you, but also it's funny. So, as you're beginning to think about it, that this could have been the dream spell that someone may have been trying to send you a message. But it is a bit difficult to try and do these things as the plane of dreams is rather complex. That were this message sent or formed, or this vision you were given, it may have been done on the elusive plane of dreams, of which you are rather familiar with, Cyphus, in some of your experiments in trying to rid yourself of these nightmares. That perhaps you could prevent your mind from shifting to this plane.
That would be great. I don't want to ever have a nightmare like that one again. I feel rested. I haven't felt this way in years. It's disturbing. I don't like it.
It's like every time in Skyrim where you actually sleep instead of waiting, and you wake up feeling quote unquote well rested. Must be nice.
Yeah, it's true. Wow, I wish I was a character that could get well rested for sleeping for an hour.
Oh, I was playing the other day, and I got rid of my lycanthropy, and I went to sleep, and I woke up, and it was like, you wake up feeling your lover's love or whatever, because my character was married, and I was like, aw, must be nice.
Oh,
But yes, that's what you've been able to gather from this brief experience. Though, what that has to do with your dreams, Jack and Deacon, you're not quite certain.
well, I'm not happy with this situation. Jack, I think you're responsible. entirely recent, and I do not blame you.
You're so forgiving. I really.
No, it's just my resting state is insane. And paranoid. So, you know. Speaking of which, I want to pull Raphael aside and be
Sure.
like, have you been you've been watching Kendra, right?
Of course.
Have you been watching her closely?
Well, that depends. How closely do you mean?
I don't know. Look, she's giving bad vibes to me. I think you should
Has she
be
done
careful.
aroused such suspicion from you, Habib?
I don't, she asks questions. And, you know,
She
if anybody
the people stay.
knows anything about arcane magic in this town, it's her. She has all the right books. I don't know. I just want you to keep an eye and an open mind that maybe, just maybe, she might be more than what she seems.
I respect your judgment, and I will heed your words. If I find anything or if I see anything that will arouse my suspicion, I will let you know.
Perfect.
But if what you say is true, then we cannot arouse her suspicions. Aywa?
Yes, of course, of course.
We must tread very carefully around this matter.
Yes, of course. And then I go in and glare at her. No.
Personally, I think it would be
Evil
nice
witch!
with-
I can walk into a room. I saw what you did.
with all
I'll
due
be
respect,
very
I think-
subtle.
You didn't hear Rigel.
Miss Subtlety, as he says as he kicks the door down.
What were you
The
saying,
snail
Rigel?
Visions of madness
first-
is really subtle.
Then you hear Rigel's voice coming out from the deacon in his room and going, "Personally, Cyphus, I think you might be a tad bit off base." As Rigel sort of enters the
This was
scene.
a secret conversation, Rigel. Don't you know?
Oh, sorry, never mind. I just
No,
thought
no,
you were
no.
talking
This is a character. He goes, Rigel, why can't I have anything without you knowing?
It's a small house. There's an inn nearby you can all just check in at.
Oh. Actually, no. No.
Honestly,
You know what?
Honestly, I think we're safe
Having a
together.
secret conversation, and then everybody else starts to weigh in on it. It's like,
Yeah,
how the
like,
fuck-
goddamn, why can't I have? Even Kendra.
There's the brief moment
Kendra's
where
like, yeah,
Kendra
she's been real suspicious.
puts out a small plate of food for you guys before heading out, and she does not seem to notice everyone.
So over breakfast, I'm going to say to the whole group, all right, last night there was a dismembered body found, and the guards are coming to talk to us about it today. So, no judgments or accusations. Was anyone here responsible?
Jack.
Sika
No,
looks to
Jack couldn't have. He was with us.
Right? No, Jack's looking around going, hey, I have an alibi this time.
Bah.
I was with Raphael, and Kendra here when we came back from the last excursion to Arrowstone.
And Sika was with you, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not taking your word for it. You weren't with Sika.
Also, wasn't body like a complete skeleton by the time you found him?
It was
Some skin
decaying,
on it.
but it had fallen to pieces.
And we all know I get rid of my bodies better.
That's true, you do.
And Jack makes a big mess out of them. He doesn't leave them that intact.
Intact.
That's the only way you can leave it.
dismembered?
Yeah,
on.
right?
Trying to think of the
Amateur.
horror film
Amateur. He didn't disembowel it.
scenes he leaves, but I think Scanners is.
That would be appropriate.
Yeah, with the head.
Head exploded and the guts laying out on the ground so we could figure out where his next victim's supposed to be.
It's really hard to say. Like, he leaves a big enough of a mess horror genre.
That would be a really fun quirk for a serial killer. Like, he reads the identity of his next victim in the entrails of his old victim.
Yep. I thought that
Now?
idea so.
Fun is what we say in real life. That's totally what that is.
All right.
Let out your darkest desires, or be a nice guy that makes muffins.
Why not both?
The NSA wants to know your
Porque los dos.
Okay, they are.
Just so long as it's not the gingerbread witch making the muffins, I think we're fine.
All right. Toby, you're not allowed near the oven. Sorry, buddy.
Anywho,
But I was
Alibi.
going to make biscuits for the children. I mean, out of the children. Wait.
I mean, wait. That came out wrong.
Can I take this moment? Can I take this moment to say how underrated Hansel and Gretel witch hunters were?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
listen, if I had no expectation for it, it can't exceed my expectation.
But at the very beginning, where they get spoiler alert, when they get the witch in the oven, and the little girl goes, "Is it hot enough now for you, bitch?" I was like, "Yeah, this movie's gonna be awesome."
I'm checking it out.
All right, D4, you can finally do your thing. I got you up to date.
Grigori's a real boy now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yay! Such is life in Soviet Russia. Grigori, you are a real boy now, so go work in Beatfield.
In Beatfield?
Yes.
Duh.
Damn straight. He's gonna beat it.
Right.
Just beat it.
Just
Or you're never gonna love it.
Right.
Yeah, we're never leaving this house. This is what you all signed up for.
onward to glory as I leave the house.
Oh, gosh. Making me a liar.
No, it's just a version of expectations. Let's see. So
Alright,
you say
guys,
you
so
found- Go ahead.
it definitely wasn't my doing. I was with y'all.
Oh, that's right. That's what we were talking about.
I'm glad you remember. And it wasn't your doing either.
So there wouldn't have been a body.
Right. So, with us taken out of the picture, which one of you quote-unquote goody-goodies did it? Or knows
Wasn't
who
me.
did it?
Wasn't
Or has
me.
an
I was
idea
trying to...
about it?
Ah,
Keep going. Jack is intentionally cutting in when you're saying something, so keep going, please, because otherwise I can't do what I'm doing.
boots
No, I
out.
was trying to keep... Well, it wasn't me. I was trying to keep Seeker from eating our little goblin friend.
See,
He's
I
still
knew
here.
Sika was safe.
No, he left.
Oh, okay.
And also, from what you have said, the body was already decaying. It couldn't have been us. It takes too long for a body to start doing that. We've only been here a few days.
Well,
Yes.
True that.
Grigori, didn't you find it in, or found the trail in a mausoleum?
No, that's for the other body. We're talking... Wait, are we talking about the same body?
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about the same body.
The one that was already dead?
Yeah.
Oh.
What other body? No,
Okay.
Jack. Jack. What do you mean? Which body?
Jack's just looking around like,
Jack, is there another body? Jack? You don't
lie,
get to do
remember?
the silent.
right? No, he's sitting there like, I can't recall.
Yeah.
Inspire confidence, Habib.
We're all staring at Jack at this point.
Right? Jack's just sitting there.
It asks, did Jack commit this crime? And we go, no, but we think he may have done another one.
Like we're all sitting there going like, Jack couldn't have done it. He's got an alibi. And then like the farther we go along, we're like, fuck. Was it a fake alibi? He's really good.
But he was with us.
Or was he?
I may have blinked.
I was there. I swear.
Could this been the manifestation from the criminals of Harrowstone?
Probably.
Most likely.
That's a good
Or-
probability.
A living accomplice.
That's terrifying, particularly since
Dun dun dun. Zooms in on Ken
And I glare.
Right.
in the kitchen making a little go box for.
Jack's sneaking out the window at this point. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure that Jack is sneaking out this window, or is he just falling out
No,
this window?
no, don't. We promised.
Oh yeah, he's sneaking out this window.
So you all looked at Kendra for a brief moment and looked back to Jack.
Look at
There's just Boots there standing just.
Yes! Dodge Deacon! Deacon has been successfully dodged.
Alright, I'll just have to
Yeah,
use my
so that-
diplomacy to try to convince the sheriff
So
we
I
were with us.
thought about my grave digging up like shovel. I just remembered to wipe the dirt off that. Remember, no, it wasn't me. I haven't been grave robbing in days.
define days, please.
Well, they're normally 24 hours. They're a day and night cycle.
In a normal
Not
star
what-
system, we don't exactly know what the star system was like in Pathfinder, so it could be 26 hours for all.
Thank you all. You're not technically wrong, but not what I meant.
Is it a binary star system? I think we're in a binary situation here.
No, I think it's just primary.
Anyway, I guess we have to get the deal with the sheriff done before we try to go again for Harrowstone. I mean, technically leaving Raven Grove, considering Harrowstone's pretty much next door, so after we talk to the sheriff, it shouldn't be that much of a difficulty. Or it shouldn't be outside the realm of reasonability. We can go to Harrowstone after we speak to the sheriff about this event.
Anyway, the point is we all have witnesses and alibis, and that's what really matters.
Quite. What? Kendra says coming in.
I really just want to yell out, "Your murder!" but I don't actually believe that this was a murder, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
A body was found last night.
I saw what you did.
Oh dear, that's rather unfortunate. Do they know who it was?
It looked like it was a body from one of the crypts nearby.
There's a brief pause at the thought that it might have been her father, but as you say, that becomes
I glare at
Who's the glare?
Raphael.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Why are you glaring at?
Because she's acting suspicious.
Oh, Doom Boy cut out. Then I didn't hear him.
Well, she rolled an 8 for her sense motive.
Well, given what Cyphus has already brought to my attention, I'll roll a sense motive as well.
Right.
Yes, if anyone else is suspicious of Kendra, feel free to roll sense.
But then I might. Well, I can always just say she's tricked me. Doesn't prove anything. Where's my sense motive?
Right. So that is a 14 for my sense motivazione.
And I got a 12, but Deacon got a 25.
Oh, sniggity snap.
So, I'll go from bottom to highest. Cyphus? Oh, she's shifty.
Yeah,
Oh.
she is.
There's something up with her. You're a bit torn, Raphael, as you have to wonder what kind of madness has overtaken Cyphus, as Kendra seems to be her plain old self. And Deacon, a man that's had to read many a person, are quite certain that there isn't a evil bone in Kendra's body. You're getting some bad vibes from Cyphus, but yeah, no, she's currently handing you all little boxed lunches for your expedition today.
She's shifty.
Aw, thanks, Kendra. I appreciate you. Wait, no, that's not how Raphael sounds.
That's Raphael's inner mind.
Yeah, I take it. I'm like, oh, shukran, habibti.
She gives you a little hug.
When she's not looking, I'm going to be purifying food and drink all of those.
So, all right then. You're gonna have to open. But
What did you say?
Sorry, you cut out.
you're gonna have to open box lunches for that. But yeah.
I sit there on the whole table, looking at taking almost some shifty looking at Kendra, and I just shake my head. Let me know for the record, never mind that might have your suspicion, so entertain that notion. I was with Kendra the whole time when the body was first found.
Ah, but that doesn't mean you were with her all night? All day?
That does.
Are you all suspicious of me?
I didn't know! What are you talking about? She's not in the room anymore. Go away, DM.
Yeah, I thought we were just talking on the road to the sheriff's by the time we were having this conversation.
No one left yet. I have things for when you.
Oh.
So
Well, Jack left.
the Wayback Machine.
To be fair, Jack left.
All
Right.
Jack, roll me a perception check real quick.
Okay. Which Oh yeah, regular perception. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the. Perfect, right in the middle.
So, you note that on the doorstep there is the platter that Raphael had handed the goblin last night. There appears to be a small assortment of rather large pine cones, some acorns, some sharpened sticks, and a metal bucket that has been overturned. But you can see there's some kind of slime coming out of the.
They shit on our doorstep and on our gratitude.
Our hospitality.
Our hospitality, thank you. That was the word I was really looking for.
Like hospitality.
Actually works.
Do you wish to approach the bucket, Jack?
It's on the porch?
Yes, on the silver platter.
Uh-huh. Anything else about it looks suspicious other than the fact that it was definitely a goblin that did whatever this is? Possibly?
No?
I will leave it for the others to find and run off. Call Sika on my way.
So, you see Sika scratching at the door.
Come on, you can do it!
You're outside, mister.
Yep.
That
Come on.
20 stealth will only get you so far. So yes, you all see Sika scratching at the door to be let out.
Alright. Give me a minute. And I'll go and...
Oh, we were waiting here for the sheriff.
Oh.
Are we going to the sheriff department?
I'm pretty sure the sheriff was coming to us, but maybe we could meet him halfway.
Okay.
Yeah.
One really important thing to say.
What's
Before
that?
he leaves, can I scritch him under the chin?
Yeah, you may scratch Sika. Sika he's rather
Give him a
untrustworthy.
good
He
old
don't trust
itchy
you.
scratch.
You're awfully quiet. What were you saying? D100?
Oh, I said I give him an itching and the scratching.
Oh,
He
nothing important then.
Sika has a almost divine sense to detect whenever they're about to get scritches and allows it.
Nice.
Nice.
That's good.
As you open the door for Sika, you do see the deputy approaching, a young man. He's around your age. Hey there. My pops wanted me to wrangle all you to go down to the sheriff's house to then go to the church.
Oh. I had a feeling it might. Well, just glad we didn't To go down the road to meet you halfway, you meet us here, and then suddenly I know you think we split town. So, fortuitous a turn of events. I say nodding.
The Bucks seem like nice folks, so I don't think he'd split town. Where's the little?
Oh, you poor little bastard.
Please ignore them. They have quite the sense of humor. I say, slightly sweating.
Oh, I'm insane. I do that occasionally.
Where's the little guy?
I think he stepped out to you guys investigate the area. Make sure to see if there's anything else.
I'm gonna roll diplomacy, and I'm gonna kind of touch Rigel on the shoulder, and I'm gonna say, he occasionally wanders off, but since we were with him all night, and I'm sure he'll show up when and where he chooses, but we were with him all night, so our alibis vouch for him.
Quite.
So you can also run off with the door open.
And I got a 25 with that diplomacy.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Alright, I hope you understand the position I'm in, though. Do you have any idea where he might be? Because I kind of need all of you, or else my pop's gonna throw me in the cell.
Well, I wish I knew where he was, honestly. He just kind of freaking wanders off. It's rather annoying. But you can't contain a Fae, so... You know, what can you do?
I'm pretty sure we have,
Well, why don't we all have a quick look around for him?
Yes.
Hold up. And he reaches into a sack and starts pulling out handcuffs and begins handcuffing one of you to the next one and just forming a chain. This might be some kind of distraction to just go running off whenever I turn my back, okay?
I'm not letting myself be handcuffed.
You have a cooperation. What is this really necessary?
Officer, are we being detained?
Somewhat, as you assist me in finding your individual, and once we find him, I'll get you all free.
I'm not letting him cut.
I think you nabbed me.
I'm just gonna yell Jack really loudly.
Roll perception.
Alright, will do. And then I have to...
It's an innate sense to be able to pick up on your name. Perhaps something to do with a upbringing. But you do hear the consequences of your actions called.
Oh, wait, I sense... Okay, so... Jack, somewhere off in the middle of town. Distress? My name? What did I do now? Couldn't have been anything. Oh, you know what? I better go see what that sheriff dude wants. And I'm gonna head for the sheriff's department.
Zika having finally caught up to you. Just you go rushing off and just fall.
Right. He said I couldn't leave town. He didn't say I couldn't wander in it.
Not showed up.
Listen, I'm gonna say to this deputy, I'm gonna say, you're not gonna find him here. He's in town somewhere. He'll show up when he wants. I'm not letting you handcuff me. Can we go to the station?
Fine, then we're making a beeline there. And begins leading
God, if
you
Jack
all
heard that, it would have
to
been
the-
the best thing ever.
Unfortunately, I'm handcuffed right now because he did manage to get one of us, and unfortunately, by bad luck, it was me.
Well, you have one handcuff on your left hand and one handcuff on your right hand, unable to, hook up to anyone else. So you're kind of...
How does Grigori react to this, being a paladin of Abadar?
Yeah, how do you feel, Grigori?
Or he's probably also going like, fuck that shit. I love how the guy like pulls out handcuffs, goes and like handcuffs Rigel, and everyone else is like, no. I'm gonna give him like a real patronizing pat on the head, like you will not shackle a follower of the Dawn Flower in such a way.
All right, we're going right to the station now, and I ain't paid enough. Barely. Come on! You all do note the silver platter that Raphael had given the goblin is on the doorstep.
Disgusting. Look at what the foul beast has left us.
Does anybody have prestidigitation?
I do.
So
I'm not using it to touch that filth.
He's like, make it disappear. No. Not happening.
But
You have to suffer the consequences of your actions, Raphael.
it is an assortment of sharpened sticks, some very large pine cones, one of them which appears to have been painted in various substances. What the goblin was going for, you're not certain. Some perfectly fine skipping stones, and a old rusted bucket that's been turned upside down and has something slimy leaking out of it.
I know what's in there.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not touching it. I'm gonna turn to Raphael. It can wait till later.
Well, I don't want Kendra to mess with this.
Okay,
If-
I open the door and I yell to Kendra, Kendra, there's a slimy bucket on the doorstep. Just let it go. We'll take care of it when we get back. Bye.
Maybe you should all look in inn.
What?
She calls out that perhaps some of you should look into getting an inn.
Oh, I see how it is. Well, if that's how you feel. God, she's really mean.
I'll pat you on the back.
I wonder why.
And I'll just be like, I didn't do anything.
Solid.
I didn't do anything.
Do the heck as I face
Jack,
myself.
it's your fault, not mine.
I'm not even there.
I was okay with being strangled, but I'm not okay with taking the fall for this.
Speaking of, do we make it to the sheriff's station?
I'm sorry, what? Raphael says,
As you all conga line your way to the sheriff's station, you find there the sheriff and Jack sitting in a chair, currently with a small plate of hash browns that the sheriff has offered him, as he's a bit upset that you came right here and didn't check in with his deputy, but you're being honorable in listening to what he had told you to do. So he's a little happy with it.
More than happy to help.
Oh no, this is with Jack that he's pleased with. Oh, you got the rest of the boys? What? Why didn't you tell me he was here? He says to all of you, not his father.
We don't know where he is. We are not his keepers. We are his family.
okay, that is a very strong word.
I like Jack. I've only known
On
him for
that
about a
wording.
week.
On that wording, Jack will stop what he was about to say to the sheriff, and his head will kind of snap in your guys' direction, and he's looking at you all like questioningly, but with an inquisitive nature. Like, does he speak truth? Is the eyes? That's what his eyes are saying.
Well, he's not wrong. We are fond of Jack for all things, everything else considered. But still, yeah, go ahead.
He goes from, after looking at you, he then starts to look at Grigori.
Grigori.
Yes.
Jack is staring at you with intent.
Yes, Jack.
How do you feel?
I'm fine.
So he hops out of the chair, gives you a hug, and then runs away from you.
Oh God, he's running off again. See, it's like a
Jack, wait.
toddler, like our toddler.
Wait, we needed to talk to the sheriff. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, Sheriff, I hope you got what you needed out of him. Who knows when he'll show back up.
Oh yeah, no, Sika takes off after him afterwards too.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
no, that
she
door-
realizes he is not stopping at the edge of town. He just kind of kept running in a straight
You
line.
don't get out of the sheriff's station.
Bam! What happened?
The door is shut.
Wait, is there a window that's open?
No, they
I don't
really
use doors
have
often.
windows in cell, or small sheriff stations.
All right. Well, it was like I was sitting next to the sheriff 1 second, then I'm looking at all the windows and doors, going exit.
So
Rolled in it.
you're gonna be all right.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he'll be fine.
It
Yeah.
is a question for the ages, Habib. A question for the ages.
He motions one side. Go get a blanket and swaddle him, all right, so we can get to Pharasma.
Sure, I guess you can try.
No. That was to one of the deputies, not you, unless your name is Rigel Deputy M. Val Malchior.
I do like the idea, though, that whenever someone gives anyone an order, Rigel just immediately goes into,
Just trying to do
I
it.
better do it.
Right? He's like, let me help you with that. It's like Rigel, no, not you, buddy.
I know it's not your job.
Sorry,
No.
I guess it's more training than.
Yes, one of the deputies takes a rather large fluffy
Endearing.
blanket
It's
and
endearing.
approaches.
That was great, but you two talked over each other.
Yes, one of the
Sorry, I
deputies
was
gets.
calling Rigel.
I love how you guys pause and wait for one person to talk and then immediately both start at the same time again.
It's the delay. Okay, so we'll start with player, then we'll go back to DM.
Sorry, I was just trying to tell Rigel that he was endearing.
Thanks, Raphael.
Back to DM.
So a deputy is approaching you, Jack, to try and swaddle you with a blanket.
Hold on. This may or may not prove very dangerous for this particular deputy.
I am watching with such bated breath.
Oh, jeez.
So
Okay.
off, lunging towards him into his open arms, and he manages to wrap you up into a little burrito with the blanket.
She yell a battle cry and rush right
Right
into
There
it.
It's like,
you won't resist, but it's so warm and nice.
right?
Raphael is trying so hard to keep it together and stay professional in front of the sheriff, but it's not working.
Sika's just curled up basically around Jack, who's curled up at the sheriff's feet.
Now we be heading out, boy.
Yeah, to the Pharasma.
Let's go, gentlemen. After this, nothing can go wrong today.
Please
Oh,
don't jinx.
fast forward 20 minutes with Cyphus getting thrown out of the church yelling, "Your god doesn't exist!"
25 minutes later, being devoured by the Ember Maw.
Not again!
4 hours later, one of the great old ones who showed up at the Pharasma church. What do they mean I don't exist?
Oh yeah, rolling up his sleeves. Why does Cthulhu need a wife beater?
That's a good question.
Oh no.
Because he doesn't have one.
So, you all begin making your way to Pharasma. You boys have been staying in town a while. I don't suppose it's the fine cooking that's at.
No.
It's
Got it.
Raven Grove is a very
Well, it's-
interesting place.
We've taken it upon ourselves to, or at least Raphael has, to make sure that Kendra is no longer dangerous to anyone with her cooking. We figured we wouldn't leave until that quest had been completed.
That's mighty kind of you boys. That's a bit of a daunting task, but I'm glad someone tried to take at it.
Well, we also owe it to the professor as one of his last wishes.
That's also mighty kind of you, boy.
Maybe he's the bad guy.
I recall this last year at a festival, Kendra entered in a pie to a contest, and I swear it almost killed a judge.
That sounds about right.
Unfortunately.
I stare at Raphael.
Poor thing.
And I whisper to him,
All
the
the
evidence is mounting.
Just made a mixed berry pie and didn't check to see if any of them were poison.
Uh-huh. Or maybe she did check.
What are you implying about her?
I'm not. I didn't say that. I just stared at Raphael and implied it to him.
You're getting a weird look from Cyphers. You can't get a read.
Roll that sense motive. See if he can get what I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure I know what he's implying at this point, and I'm going to shoot him back a nasty look as well.
If it's possible for me to face palm through my handcuffs or try to fang it while I could, I am.
Yes, easily. Easily
You're
possible.
not handcuffs, buddy.
Okay,
Oh.
here, let me explain this to you how your handcuffs are set up. Basically, you have a pair of handcuffs on one wrist and you have a pair of handcuffs on the other wrist. They're not connected to each other. They're each individual cuffs waiting for another wrist to go into. The problem is
they're
that
really
you were
bad
supposed to go into a chain with someone else, so instead you just have a chain hanging from your wrist with a clasp.
No.
The
They're really
idea
bad.
was to form a chain gang, but everyone went no to the port.
Everybody else said no while you were like, all right.
Classic Schmosby.
I do like the idea that they tried to that they were going to take the handcuffs off Rigel, and he was like, "Do you want me to keep these on?"
You like ask them and they're like, well,
Yeah, would it make everything better?
Happy son.
we don't know if you're innocent or not, so.
As you approach Pharasma, the sheriff is quick to step ahead of the group and knock upon the door, where Father Grimborough is the one to answer. Ah, Sheriff, what can I do for you on the... And he looks over his shoulder and sees all of you.
Hello.
I feel like you're kind of taking advantage of me. Well, just so easy this way. Yes, Pharasma brings ease to many, but you can do some basic detective work, can't you? Well, yeah, I detected that I should have come here.
Fair point.
Sniffle.
He's not wrong.
Sniffle.
Also, Jack, you're basically being held in one arm by one of the deputies while you're still swaddled.
I could easily see that. He's just sitting there kind of like sniffling in on himself. He's not really paying much attention, but he's listening. Kind of.
Alright, bring them in, bring them all in, and next time you have a case, you may find my doors closed. You're all led into Pharasma, the Church of Pharasma. Some of you a bit more familiar as you've gotten to do some studying here. The father begins drawing a circle into the ground with some white chalk that seems to glow in the sunlight. Step into the circle.
Alright.
Oh man, I don't know what's actually going to happen if I answer questions in there.
Now, everyone, please imbibe this liquid as he hands you all a small.
I'd like to do a religion check on
I'll
that.
also do a religion.
Same.
Oh, natural one. I'm not drinking your poison, old man. You're trying to silence me. Because I know the truth.
A lot of you have knowledge from the
Down.
church. You're not familiar with any kind of liquid being used with the Zone of Truth.
Dang.
The deputy looks to you, Jack, as you're being held. Now, if I let you go, are you going to run off?
I don't think he was going to, but then you grabbed him, so... hey, Jackie? It would be... I would consider it a huge favor for me if you would stay with the group here. Can you do
he's
that?
definitely
Yeah, I think we need to try to put our best foot forward this time around.
Who's all in the room?
all of you, 2 deputies, the sheriff, and Father Grimborough, the man that helped bury Professor.
Any of his acolytes?
No, they're basically going about cleaning and such.
Maybe
and
he's
other-
the acolyte then.
All right, so yeah, Jack just kind of he's sitting there. He says when the deputy asks him if he's gonna let him go, he's like, yeah. Then he's like, he looks over at or when he asked if he was gonna run, he's like, yeah. And then he looked over with Cyphus, said something to him, and then he it looks like he finally starting to comprehend words again, and he just kind of looks at him and he kind of goes, what?
Would you mind staying here with us? I'd consider it a favor.
Why?
Well, first off, I know how Fae love favors. Get to call them in. Second off, because I think if we do this, the town is going to be a little bit more okay with us. And since we have to be here a whole month...
If we have to be here that long...
And then he looks at that liquid. On the 27 perception, what liquid is actually in that vial? If it's... What actually is it?
It appears to be something akin to a small poison that would, from the smell and how high you rolled, you'd be able to tell that would reduce your will saves for a brief period of time.
Can't you just willingly fail?
Yeah, you can, but you can. But you also have the option. But when you're in a
I
zone
guess
of
you
truth,
don't know
can't.
if somebody succeeds or not.
Exactly.
So, Jack looks at the liquid and he walks up to the priest guy and he kind of goes, "You drink it."
He takes and drinks some, no issue.
Good.
All right, and then he goes sits in the circle with a partially empty vial.
What do you want?
I'll drink this.
No.
He looks to the sheriff.
I don't
Please.
invite poisons that were not made by my mom.
It's a fair point.
Ha!
Everyone's gonna look at me to try to convince him to do it, and I'm like, actually, I agree with him. I don't really want to drink this either.
Jack, this may not be the greatest situation or ideal in I should perform, but in order to...
I have
guess
never
you're-
lied to anyone.
It's true.
I
He's
know you
Fae.
haven't. I know you haven't, but this is much more for their trust more than anything else. We know
That's
you're
fine.
honest.
They can trust that I won't lie.
I agree.
I will also agree with Little Jack. Please let us just move along. Ask your questions.
Alright, all of you stepping into the circle. You can feel almost someone's eyes gazing down upon you, as though in this exact spot, the statue of Pharasma, its eyes all meet yours looking at it. Father Grimborough begins to go through some incantations in a small prayer, and the circle glows with power. Alright. Did you boys murder someone yesterday?
Can I resist the spell?
Oh,
Or at
by
least
all means.
attempt it? So it's a will save, right?
Yeah, anybody can make a will save if they want.
I get a natural 20.
So, as you look upon the statue, feeling its gaze meet yours.
But I understand that his god doesn't exist, so...
Let me finish, please.
Oh, okay.
You feel the sensation as though something else behind you, looking over your shoulder, is staring and meeting its eyes and making this god turn away out of fear.
That
I
sounds
like
about
that.
right.
As Deacon goes, "I must obey."
I felt this pain before, Deacon, of the shame that has been cast upon you, and you do not wish to go through it again in the eyes of another god.
Ask your questions.
Jack just kind of looks at the guy and kind of goes, "I didn't kill nobody yesterday.
That's true. I don't think. Well, we killed some spiders, didn't we?
I didn't kill any people."
That's true. Spiders are not people.
Yeah.
Spiders aren't people, right?
Man,
Do
that
you
would be.
boys have any intention to murder anyone in the next?
Define murder.
No.
If you cut out, that was perfect. If you stopped after murder, that was even better.
He said, "Are you always planning to murder anyone in the next week?"
Define
Oh.
murder.
Yeah.
No.
Why would
Someone.
I
Wait,
wish a lot of
what was the
people did.
definition?
What was that, Cyphus?
What was the definition?
Plot someone's death. And
Oh,
kill-
plot someone's death. Oh, no. Never mind then. I'm not plotting anyone's death.
Nope. No plotting.
And I say it exactly in that tone.
I don't plot much.
Do any of you have any ill intentions towards the townspeople here with?
Nah, I like them.
Clearly not.
Only if they have ill intentions to me.
He's kind of looking for everyone to answer these questions just to be.
No.
I kind of agree with Cyphus. We hold no ill will for this town in any way, shape, or form, but I don't think it's us who hold ill will towards one party. I think it's actually the reverse.
Can you
Jack's
blame
nodding
them?
his head.
Like, first impressions really count, and we kind of really fucked their first impression.
That's true.
I think
not
they
our fault
fucked the
they
first
came running at
impression.
us.
They attacked us.
Right?
That's also true.
The
Yes,
sheriff looked at all of you. As you
Right.
recall, you had lied to him about the events.
We did?
Yeah, you
What?
did.
What are you talking about?
No, he didn't.
You did. You said you had nothing to do with it.
I don't remember that.
He
With what?
had asked what had happened in regards to the townspeople attacking you guys, and you said that you attacked them and they ran.
I don't
Someone else
remember
must have
anybody
said
saying
that.
they ran away. They just disappeared. But that might have been the
But
excuse.
we didn't say anything that incriminating in that last exchange. I just said,
Right.
Wait, the last question I heard was, are you planning anyone's death within the next week?
No,
Okay.
he's saying back in the first session.
Oh, so the sheriff has some trust issues. He did a will, or not a will. He did a sense motive.
Well,
Or
no.
non-offensive bluff.
No, apparently one of us told him that the bad guys ran away. I don't recall saying that because that sounds not what I would do.
but in that last exchange, nothing was said that would have implied that they were killed or anything. I just said we fucked up our first impression. That's all I said.
That's true.
So, in no way, shape, or form does that incriminate us in any way from what we've already told them. That's all I'm saying.
True.
Yeah, we just said there was a that was bleh. Wow, my tongue is tripping hard.
Twister.
Right? we had issue, but that was about it.
Did you men do battle with townsfolk the day Professor Lorimore was?
Define do battle.
What was once a kind place has suddenly turned cold. I think you understand me, boy.
Well,
Did
not
any of
really.
us? Wait, hold on. Say that question again.
Any of you do battle with the townspeople the day Professor Lorimore was buried?
What day was he buried on?
you know, you're
Buried
asking
about 5 days ago.
us to answer that question, so I have to say yes. Rigel definitely drew the sword on him.
Now hold on a minute. I didn't draw my sword to fight the necessarily.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I
didn't
think
even.
Answer.
I think Jack did as well, except he doesn't have a sword, obviously.
Yes.
I
Now,
did
hold on a minute.
argue with some gentlemen. Sika had words with one.
I never drew a weapon.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
In fact, I don't even have a weapon on me.
Cast any spells or cause any death that
Cast spells?
No, I did not.
No casting spells. Causing death? No. Well, what day was that again?
No.
5 days ago.
5 days ago? I think I killed some goblins on my way here that day. I might have killed a townsfolk that might have been trying to kill a goblin too. I don't know. Do townsfolk... Do goblins and will saves? I mean, not goblins and will saves.
Goblins and will saves. That's my new game. You've heard of Dungeons and Dragons, and now it's Goblins and will saves.
Yeah, no, you are feeling the pressure of that god staring upon you. It is not a lie. And you did kill people.
5 days ago? Was it 5 days ago?
It was 5 days.
I killed one person.
You killed two.
No, I killed one. Sika killed one.
So yes,
Oh.
you did cause death.
Well, if the answer
Alright,
is,
so
did
how-
anyone...
The worry...
the campaign, kids. We'll see you next week.
Actually, no. Actually, for Jack, how do I know if a person is a townsfolk or not? Like, do they have distinguishing marks and characteristics, or does any person that I find near the town count as a townsfolk?
Any member or any person within this town, did you cause them death?
In the town, no.
The Wrestlins count as part of the town.
No, they don't. They're the Wrestlins.
Did you cause any death in the Westlands?
Of course I did. I kill a lot of things in the Wrestlins. That's what you're supposed to do.
Hey, is there a legal code in Ustalav?
Oh, goodness.
Honestly, it varies from township to township.
I'm gonna
I mean, I
roll
think I was
knowledge
hunting-
local. Damn it! Oh man, I think he's. You know what? I'm just gonna decide what my own answer is. I'm gonna say, like, what's with all these questions? I thought you came to have us talk about the body we found.
Well, now I'm talking about two bodies I can't find.
Well, that's unfortunate for you.
Two bodies had gone missing 5 days ago. Did any of you witness them disappearing by any means?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Did any of you cause those bodies to go and disappear?
Now that's a philosophical question.
I don't think so.
Can you point to the person you feel was the cause of these bodies disappearing?
I
Is
don't
that
feel like
pastor
your
in the
spell
room?
has power.
Is the pastor in the room?
Yes, he is.
I point at him.
Why?
Goodness.
He was the one that let him into the Wrestlins.
Yep.
He didn't put a stop to this all when he had the chance.
And he has full control over who. But
He was up on the
there.
hill. He was
Yeah,
like
he
20
watched
feet
the
away.
whole thing.
God, watch the whole thing. It's rushing down.
Sure.
Yeah, well, you
But
asked
he
us
couldn't
what we
stop
think,
him.
and that's what we think.
Right? Exactly. Especially from Jack's point of view.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Ferric. Could you do me a favor? Maybe you could roll a knowledge religion for Abadar to see if you could find some kind of justifiable homicide clause.
Hey, you got my back? I don't know.
Sorry.
There's the roll.
So, defending yourself isn't wrong, but lying to, officers of the law, kind of wrong.
Who told him that they ran away? Because I don't think any of us would have, but one of us clearly did.
Right?
Allow him to believe that.
The hard part is that without knowing which one of us actually said it, it's really hard to say why they did it that way.
I'd say that it was Raphael, but I don't want to any more than I already am.
It's like, I don't. We're not pointing fingers, Raphael, but it might have been you. Hint, hint.
I don't think so.
I did no such thing.
I think we were perfectly legal in our actions, so I don't see why we would deny it. But I'm certain if we went back and listened to it, one of us absolutely gave him that impression.
Right?
No, listen. What happened in the restaurants was an accident. When I drew my sword, it was to defend Kendra after that lunkhead, whoever his name is, Gibbons or whatever, attacked her. When I drew my sword, it was to defend her because I saw Gibbons had a weapon. I rushed into her defense because Gibbons struck Kendra. As far as actually attacking Gibbons, no. I drew my sword in defense. Drew my sword in defense of both me and Kendra because I saw he was armed too and had a tour de force ready to attack us and the pallbearers for Professor Larimer's death. I took responsibility for that because, as far as the causing that whole instance, because I acted rashly. We did. As far as everything else, it was the townsfolk that suddenly went and leapt upon the rest of the pallbearers, and well, I can't see what happens only after confronting Gibbs. After confronting Gibbs, but the whole thing sort of imploded upon itself. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form our party wished anyone dead. If anything, it was more unfortunate self-defense. In defense of ourselves, Kendra, and the professor's body. The townfolk in that instance were more than happy to strong arm and manhandle any of us in that instance. I won't pretend things didn't go down badly, but we didn't hurt anyone in that instance. Or at least had any intention.
Check.
Let me see.
Pretty sure we did hurt someone.
Yeah, but not intentionally. That shows intent.
Potato.
Well?
Damn.
What do you mean, damn? That was really good.
I meant in a good way. Damn. I didn't even work.
Okay. I was like, you can't get better.
Pinching the bridge of his nose. All right, then. I recognize how the situation played out. Or at least I hope I have. I have faith in Pharasma and the power that they possess, binding you to all tell the truth. But
The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Uh-oh.
I do not take kindly to being lied to or misled. The man-hours I spent searching for these men that have mysteriously disappeared. I am going to have you boys help me in pointing out which of the townsfolk were the perpetrators of this attack that you alleged. I'm going to put
Wait, hold on. You haven't done that yet?
No, I was not given the full story.
Did you ask the other townsfolk? There were people there.
Right. So you came after us because someone said what?
Essentially, there were some people that were watching from a distance, but they weren't certain which people they were. You didn't say it was Gibbs, it was this guy or that.
Well, one of them was Gibbons.
Gibbs. Yes. And
He seemed to be the ringlinger.
Yeah, you can figure out.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, ringleader is. Ringlinger is not.
Are you sure?
Cybus has a degree in ancient languages. He knows when he says something wrong.
I would be rather forthright with this individual and ensure that he is going to help in rounding up his cronies. But
okay.
deceiving me, I'm going to have to put you boys in jail for a day and a half.
I don't think so.
We're kind of busy.
I have a lot to do. How about this? If I don't die for the next couple of days, I promise that I will stay at an inn of your choosing in this town.
I don't think an inn is going to work.
You do not understand the severity of the situation.
Of course I have. I keep coming back to the town every day. Nothing has changed for me. It's only your mindset that's changed.
Ooh, good one.
Guys, I don't think we have a choice in the matter.
Of course we do. We haven't done anything wrong. Now, if we did something wrong, then we wouldn't have a choice.
You're going to be telling me that you're going to be resisting arrest? As you see the two deputies close the door to the temple behind.
No,
Alright.
but we have a paladin of Abadar with us.
Yeah,
If
we
we're
have
not
a
house
law. We have the law on our side. And if you want to fight the law, you won't win.
He
He's
looks
powerful.
to you, Grigori, and you, Raphael. Are you two resisting arrest?
I am not resisting arrest, but I simply ask that I not be chained for a crime I did not commit. I will help you with your investigation, however.
I promise you there will be no chains, but staying behind bars for a time, there will be.
That's chains.
No, it's bars.
It seems like chains to me.
It's not, Jack.
Technically imprisoned.
It reminds me of home. I don't like home.
I understand that, Jack.
Yeah.
Can Jack and I be in the same cell? Or better yet, can we all be in the same cell?
Doesn't really work that way.
See,
You
he's
have
not
no
being
power.
real.
If we're not in the same cell, Jack is going to try to break out.
Certainly try.
That's assuming he lets you try to capture him in the first place.
Detective,
I have a feeling
Sheriff, I feel like,
it's a bad one.
look, we all, or at least some of us, are dangerous individuals when threatened. And unfortunately, we don't have very good self-control a lot of the time. So when we feel threatened, we lash out.
Speak for yourselves.
I do speak for myself.
Are you threatening me now?
No, but I'm saying that I would much prefer that we negotiate a deal out of this rather than move straight to trying to apprehend us, where some of us are going to freak out, I nod to Jack, and run away and possibly hurt someone.
I wouldn't say.
I'll make negotiations. Come with me. Be peaceful. No one gets hurt.
Okay, so about our accommodations. There's not one really big cell?
Let's get to the station. We'll let you all pick which bunks you want.
I don't like the station.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. That sounds like there's only one in each cell, and you're going to shove us in there after you've gotten us all halfway there.
Sheriff, house
That's exactly
arrest
what it
would
sounds
be
like.
Vastly preferable. Much more doable.
I'm sure it would be, and we'll talk about that. But let's see how much you boys are going to resist right now.
A lot.
Listen,
Guys,
Jack,
please
Everybody,
don't.
let's just calm down.
it's just for a day.
Yeah, we can totally do this. Sheriff, I am seriously... Sheriff, if you promise me that Jack and I will be in the same cell so that we can keep each other calm, then I think we are more than willing to go with you.
There's a brief moment, Grigori, as you think, maybe this is my chance out. And it passed.
I will go to a cell.
No. All right. So this is how Jack looks at this situation now. He sees at least one person of authority or trying to force authority on us. He sees the priest. He sees 2 additional guards in the room. Threat count 4. He sees 1 door to the temple and a window, another door. What?
They're a good, 10 feet off the ground, so unless you got some major jumps, they ain't a way out.
Okay, that's not that bad. 10 feet off the ground isn't that hard for Jack. The hard part comes at what else is in the room, if anything, that is noteworthy.
Well, there's supposed to be acolytes. You don't know where they are, though.
Yeah, because they're all actually necromancers or something crazy like that. Mumble, mumble.
Right.
All right.
I'm not suspicious one.
Hey, I find clerics to be the most suspicious of all people. They're a bunch of liars and con artists.
They do things. All right, so Jack looks at the sheriff and he kind of goes, "You seem like you have one thought,
one track with your thoughts. So let's do it this way. I'm going to go outside.
Oh no, he pulled up the turn order.
Exactly.
No, Jack, please.
I'm going outside.
Jack, calm down. You and I will be together. We're family, remember?
Jack,
And he stopped. Like he's like, and what?
Jack, look
We're
at me.
family. If you go outside, you'll be leaving me.
No, I'll take care of this problem.
No.
Jack, don't.
That just makes another problem.
Yeah, let's just go along with what he says.
I
It's
don't
not
like
great.
this.
I don't like it either,
Nor
but it's
I.
only temporary.
Jack, look at me.
And if we really don't like it, we'll just break out.
No, we'll find a different way.
All
I
right,
say
so
let's
that's
find
2 days now.
Jack, look at me.
see.
We're in no danger here. We're in no danger here. So,
Okay.
we can trust these men. And then
No,
we can
not
get
the-
back to what we were doing.
We have time.
Yes.
He's looking at each of you, and in short order, he just kind of sits down mumbling, and then he starts to glow brightly. Slowly starts to glow brightly from not glowing to bright, like a flare almost.
Jack, why are you glowing? Oh, you can't. Oh, on one target. One target.
No, he actually doesn't target anyone. He just flashes brightly for a second and then just kind of sits there moping.
A bit of concern, but the sheriff understanding that nothing's going to happen, gestures for you all to follow him. The sheriff is in the front and the 2 deputies are in the back. Both of them have a hand on their swords just in.
Thank you, Jack.
I mean, that's
Yes, thank you.
So,
Grumble.
You're-
grumble.
As I'm walking past the priest, I am going to say, "Your god is dead."
not really. So I
No.
presume you walk over. He kind of stepped away from all that, so you'd have to walk over to him to tell him his god is dead.
And then I'll
Cypher
speak in a normal
strikes
voice.
back, and Gregory's gonna backhand him on the back of the head.
Yeah. Sorry.
His god may be dead, but Gregori's hand is alive.
Gregory's
Jeez.
hand is very much real.
Your god is dead, but its principles are alive when you worship it.
Just be glad
God.
Gregory doesn't wear rings.
Be glad I talk about Avatar.
Or give him the business end of the pistol. Butt end of the pistol.
So, all of you are led to the sheriff's station. Jack and Cyphus are handcuffed.
Oh no.
Oh
No.
no! If they try to put cuffs on Jack, he
No, thank you.
immediately starts having issue.
Yeah,
It's
sir.
like if they bring them
We'll
towards
go
him.
into the cell.
So,
Sir, we'll happily go into the cell, but we're not getting handcuffed.
Jack's DMD.
chains and the cell. It's cool. Just put them in and it'll be fine.
I would like to assist with that diplomacy.
I can diplomatize for myself, guys.
He, trusting you, Raphael, agrees to it and puts you two in a cell.
Okay, my diplomacy's for water then. Can I have a cup of water?
They bring you a cup of water to drink from.
Alright, I drink it and I hand the cup back. Thank you.
Cell doors are closed behind all of you. Grigori and Raphael are sharing a cell. Deacon and Igel are sharing a cell. Cyphus and Jack have a cell together, and I think that's everything.
Okay, so a quick question. How much of my stuff did they take?
Or they were essentially going through your things, removing them. If there's anything in particular you wanted to stop them with.
I will be very reluctant to hand over any of my holy symbols. Like, I'll give them my sword, And I'll also ask if I can keep my helmet on, if I can keep my helmet.
Did you boys bring the items you had gotten from the cell with you for the ones that are for the Harrowstone?
No.
The Hairstone prison, or the ones from the
axe, the book of symbols, the spell book, the flute, and the hammer.
Well, as much as I hate to say it, I would have taken the book. I wouldn't have let it out of my sight.
The flute's back in that safe in the prison.
Well, didn't we decide to take them?
No, remember, I took it.
Oh yeah, you didn't want it after that.
I threw it at the wall, then I picked it up, put it in the safe, and we left the room.
I would have left the charlatan's notebook back at Kendra's house because I wouldn't have taken it to this.
Okay, then. Just as
And I'm not letting them have my book. Holy text.
So, I said that slug's gonna die. It's still in the bucket.
You can get a new one.
No, it's fine. By now, it's eaten its way out of there.
Sure, it does acid damage.
Yeah, it does acid to everything. He's just wandering around looking for me.
Father, why did you leave me?
Existence is pain!
As the day goes on, all of you are in cells, most of your items removed from you. Roll me a diplomacy check, Deacon, to keep your...
Let's see.
Do I need to...
You wouldn't deny a religious man his holy symbols, would you?
They allow you to keep your symbols, but not your helm.
Ooh, tough choice.
At least have my cloak?
You may. They're not going to strip you all naked.
Okay, yeah, I'm just going to pull that over my head.
I want to know what Grigori's business looks like.
I think Jack, before they, if they start reaching for him and his stuff, he starts grabbing things out of his pack and putting it, stuffing it into his pouch belt, and then he looks at them, and anyone who reaches for his pouch belt, he bites.
Jack, you gotta give him most of your stuff.
Hand over your possessions. Just keep your clothes and your boots on.
No one touches my gold.
Oh, it's just gold. Can you show them?
Yeah.
Here, Jack, just show them what you're putting in your pockets to make so that they know it's just gold.
Okay. And then he looks at you and he opens one of the many pouches he just shoved into his belt pouch, and it's money of some denomination from somewhere. But you're not sure.
Part of that is essentially just taking a list as you go through. That's a lot of
A lot of what?
bone.
Oh.
Yeah.
If they try to take my holy text, I'm vaporizing them, by the way.
They are asking you to hand over the book.
I'm going to tell him this tome is of unspeakable evil. I am not handing it over to anyone who cannot contain it.
No, I'm going to ask you rather nicely. Cell doors are closed, you boys.
Oh no! This is Jack's response when they look at when they go to grab his book, and he kind of goes, "You remember how you keep asking random weird questions about things that don't make sense?" Looks at the guard. You remember how we told you that we search for magical items that do crazy and weird things? Still looking at the guard. Remember how we told you that there were dangerous and deadly things going on in town, and that we're trying to take care of them?
You haven't really told me much.
Oh, well.
This is the first time we've mentioned any of those, actually.
Maybe that's because I don't like being in jail! And I'm now speaking of them.
So, I'm going to need you to hand over the book.
No way, Jose.
Like Jack stone cold.
Say and how to not give the book. I think there might be like another
Another what?
culprit.
Another culprit for what?
whenever you said no way, Jose, and they don't know what you.
Oh,
No.
yeah, they're like,
Oh,
"Who's
well, I
Jose?"
picked that up in my travels. My travels to. That's it's actually a chillax.
One of the
Jesus.
polls. All right, I'll make it simple. You hand over the book, or it's
It's 3 who?
days.
I'm not handing over the book.
All right, then. Simple as that. We'll be negotiating with you. 3 days.
Jack runs into his cell with all the stuff that he has on him. And he sits there, looking outside, going, 3 days is good.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna roll diplomacy. I'm gonna say, look, I'm not holding on to it for my sake. It's really
your
not.
sake.
Well, I did not roll very well. It's really not safe for me to be separated from this book.
Look, officer, this cocaine's safer in my hands. I know how to use it responsibly.
Oh man, I don't know how to use this thing responsibly, but I know how to not use it.
That's the more correct
I rolled
term.
22. That diplomacy was to help him keep his books. If that does.
If it helps.
I don't think it helps enough.
Dry here, and you guys have burned a little bit of the bridges here.
That's what we're good at.
Oh, yeah.
We're really good at that.
Yeah, the worst possible time. The worst. Oh, let's see.
So, cell door shut, the long wait begins. And to make sure that everyone's familiar with how long a wait it's going to be, we're going to
Go to break.
Yeah.
Dope.
As soon as the guard closes the gate, Jack jumps up to the back window and starts screaming his bloody
No, Jack! Oh no!
As soon as that gate
Throw
is
me a-
closed, hold on. Perception is on the main page, not on the side page.
Are we on break or not?
We are on break. We'll get
All
to
right,
what
I'm-
that perception gives him after.
Oh wow, that's a very good perception. I'm gonna go get my
Jam.
beer.
Ooh, that sounds like a good idea. Whiskey! I just got some 18-year-old frickin' whiskey from Scotland, I think. Or was it Ireland? I can't remember. Oh, it's so smooth, though, guys. So smooth.
So who's enjoying there being consequences to actions?
I knew there was
What?
consequences to actions, but didn't think it was certain people in our party gonna escalate this.
Oh, I totally could have escalated it much worse. What are you talking about? I stopped early.
Yeah, you know what? Fair words do it's fair. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
All right, I'm back.
I'm gonna go
Welcome
make
back.
tea.
But
All right, anybody in the chat have any questions or a topic I can rant about?
let's check, shall we?
Oh, they're processing what I just said. Raisin 22 is here because he wants to learn how to roleplay better. That's a tough part to get into. A lot of players, I don't think, ever really fully step into being role players. But if I had to give you one, there is a video that we like. It's not by us. It's like the 6 questions on how to make an interesting backstory. It's by one of the British guys who has a YouTube channel that's fairly successful. And I like that one a lot because I think the first step to role-playing better is really understanding your place in the world. And that's something that helps do that, is having a really fleshed out backstory. The other thing that I would say is most important to role-playing is a motivation. You have to understand the motivation behind your character. What is it that he wants? What is he that he's trying to get? You know, that kind of thing. There has to be an overarching motivation. For example, Cyphus' motivation to be free from his celestial hitchhiker. You guys have any tips?
I think
Tips for RP. Go ahead, D12.
Similar to what D8 was saying is when you're coming up with the backstory for your character, a lot of what you put into your backstory really does define your character. I mean, if you think about it in actual life terms, even like in actors, you know, the things that you put into your head and into your mind help build your character. So when your character has the backstory like, oh yeah, I'm a barbarian that escaped from a village that, you know, was at war constantly. So if your character's flying off the handle constantly, it would make sense because you're from this war culture that's been constantly at war. Versus if your character was...
if you escaped, you could have this thing about being, you know, bound that you're not okay with.
Or a complete aversion to war in general and want to be a pacifist. You know, you want no parts in war. That could easily be another aspect of your character. But the backstory really does kind of go, hey, this is where he was or who he was before this. Now, after, what does that, you know, I'm now traveling the world with Joe, Schmo, and Larry. And something happened.
I think my advice on RP is choose your battles. So, basically knowing, like, which circumstances your character would have a strong reaction to, but also knowing, well, even though my character might have a strong reaction to this, in this circumstance, maybe he would see the wisdom in just going along, or, you know, just remembering the constraints of the game and having to balance that with the RP that you need to do with your character would be my advice.
Yeah. Another thing I really like that I think is really important is to have flaws. You know, have things that your character has that have happened to him or that make him, or her, for that matter, you know, resistant to certain ideas or terrified of certain things. Because that gives you a powerful, you know, tool to help you characterize yourself. Like if you're terrified of spiders, and now someone tells you, "I need you to clear out the spider cave," and you're like, "Oh fuck no, please don't make me go in there, man." And then you go into there anyway because your party convinces you to, because you can't leave them to be, you know, to the fate of the spiders.
It creates a moment for your character to be brave or to confront something.
Because he has a flaw.
Well, maybe that's good. I'm actually like all your ideas. I guess my only contribution is not to get really meta, but if you're gonna play a character, no, I'm not saying against everyone. In fact, I'm building off of it. You're gonna play some character of a certain type, a certain trope or something. I guess you better understand what is your character's relation to a certain trope. Like, is he more the, you know, lawful good white knight? Is he an anti-hero? And a lot of things I see in a lot of I hear in a lot of stories is that some people will commit to an idea or a concept, that thing, but unfortunately they really like certain aspects or tropes, but unfortunately they're really gonna hold on to them without realizing, is this trope, is following these things in line with my character, and that thing there too, and I guess just much importantly, how can you distinguish yourself among them, because not everyone either wants to play the hero, you know, anti-hero or anything else like that. One of the best ones make it to where it's, not to sound pretentious, part of the canon of the story. So, you know, you play the barbarian, but there's got to be some... I think that also adds on to it something other than just, you know, this big, strong barbarian. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with playing Conan, but at the same token, you also want to make it to where it's like, okay, but what else, apart from this thing, folds into this thing? Because a lot of even the most, well... about edgelordy characters, there can be something else to them, but unfortunately they try to hold on to this idea so greatly that unfortunately the very concept, if you will, sort of consumes the character. But it's also good to say, you know, how far will you go, and I guess as far as like building a character, and not just on that, but also philosophical wise, that is a distinguishing point that you can also build off of. you might be the white knight, his savior of this thing, the two, or the main character, the main hero of the campaign. But if you catch a thief and stealing bread because his family's starving, yeah, the law says you gotta turn him in. But does he really deserve a maximum punishment for trying to keep his family alive when that's a thing that any person, anything, wants to do regardless? So I guess even if saying, well, okay, my character do this and that, that's good, and then part of it because helps build that character, helps you get into it, because you already know what distinguishes you between, I guess you can say, the sort of literary norm, if you will. Sorry if that's overly long, just sharing my idea.
No, that's
Stop
fine. It's
apologizing.
all good things to consider. Where the tropes take you and how you can sort of own that and make it your own. Another thing,
Because you always want to try to evolve.
Yeah. Another thing that I think is important when RPing is being willing to embrace your failures. And I speak about that both in the context of the failures of your character's personality, but also the dice rolls. Like, how exactly do you react when you just completely screw something up? Which is going to happen just because that's how the dice roll.
I had one character I was DMing for that would always fail to hit on enemies like harpies. And so we turned it into this character trait where he's extremely embarrassed at naked women. And so that's why he always rolls so badly, is because he's trying to avert his eyes for their modesty. So that's an example of turning a failures into, something you can use to characterize your character.
Shades of Colossus from Deadpool.
Actually, I'm actually like that too, as far as so yeah, how to roll the punches, if you will. Because there's the thing, your character might be, I guess you can say, like, very the protagonist of their story in conjunction with everyone else. By the same token, you also flesh them out too, and the very most you can enhance your character and really showcase some other parts of them, especially if you may not get a chance to really show that. But at the very least, it's also in the moment too. It's also just much in the moment, and you're able to sort of go with the flow, if you will. So actually, that's really good there, man.
Oh, did we get a question?
I was just talking about Raisin, who talked about how he was here to try to roleplay better.
I think, like all things, it's a skill that you learn, and you have to try and get over the fear of failure. I have a player who I can tell that he's worried about, like, doing something he's not allowed, or doing something that, isn't very cool, or people are not going to like him. And I'm trying to convince him that go crazy, go hog wild, lose yourself in it, man. There ain't nothing. Like, don't be afraid of taking an idea and getting wacky. You don't just have to be this class. Have a tragic backstory. Have a backstory where you have two moms, and one of them was an orc and the other was an elf, so you really don't know how to carry yourself in polite society. Worst case scenario, you lose that game, you find another one, and you find a way to be happy.
I think you're right. I think that's why I like to go a little bit more wacky with my tone. It's because you get to do more fun, silly things. That's why this campaign is so interesting. Is because we have to balance, entertainment with a very dark setting. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to try it.
Yeah, I think we do have a pretty fun dynamic with our party.
Well, we like to make characters like Jack, who are, flawed in an amusing way.
Yeah. I think Raphael is kind of like just with his head in his hands right now.
Like, where did it all go wrong?
Yeah, what did I do?
In the one game, I am playing the straight man and not the charismatic face man that I usually play. I'm just going like, oh dear God, this is why I build charisma characters. No one can talk their way out of a paper bag.
Yeah. Actually, building upon what everyone else has said, particularly what D8 said and everything else, everything else everyone said. Another thing is, don't forget to go up and be a part of the story. Because when I say that, I mean, you haven't made what you want the character to do, but also don't be afraid for that character to be along the story. That's why he's there, right? So I guess one confession I have to make is for my character, Rigel. Initially, he was just going to be this sort of businessy, sort of anti-hero. But at the same token, after what happened in the first session, the events of the story, because of not just the setting, but also his relation to that setting, the thing has shifted. So part of that, I think, also good for RPs, sort of being able to work around and with the things, with the setting and everything else. You have a better chance to really show that that part of the character you had initially, but also know if it to fold in, and in some cases, it can even add to that. It shows other aspects of it to where even if you have some quieter moments, you can share that bit. You know, people always favor the, oh, he's tough on the outside, soft on the inside sort of characters. Well, try to go along with it. Maybe you have the chance to show it, and even when you don't intend to, but at the same token, you can beautifully demonstrate that.
I think you're right. I think that it's important to remember that your character will never end up what you imagined him to be. Like, what your initial starting intention and your starting idea will never be how your character ends. That makes sense?
Absolutely.
Like, because of the nature of the game and the way your character experiences things, you're going to grow and change in certain aspects. For example, I felt Cyphus would be way more reliant on others, but he's kind of turned rather aggressive with his beliefs and with his, this, like, he feels the need to channel Jack. And through that, this character has become much more active and in control of his own actions.
Yeah.
And while that was not my initial idea, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, he grew with the game, and that's the one thing that I think, if I would add anything to anything anybody said, is that all characters need to evolve with the story that your GM put before you. If your character is not growing with the story or merging with the story in some way, shape, or form, as soon as you finish a quest, your character should, if you're not following the story, have no reason to be there. But if your character's following the story, he has every reason to be there. He's still invested in the region, zone, people, something.
Very much so.
I think that can actually lead to a lot of an issue between how I play and how a lot of other people play, where I can see what the DM is whipping up, where it's like, yes, this is my obvious trap. I'm like, let's do it. Let's push that red button. And everyone else is like, no, don't touch the bad things. We have to plot and plan and be careful for every little thing. It's like, that's not fun for anybody.
Well, that's what it comes back to mistakes. And having flaws, and flaws allow your character to get beyond the metagaming.
Yeah, a good flaw at the right time will allow a character that says the red button, and everyone's saying don't push. Oh, but you didn't tell the right person. He's gonna push it.
I had an encounter that I'd whipped up where I had a room full of psychiatric medical equipment, the stuff that's essentially torture. Oh, clearly we just need leeches to make you healthy. That kind of thing. And the one person, the Warforged Barbarian, turned to the rest of the party and said, nobody touch a thing. I know what the DM's doing. And they all pressed through. And then I pulled one of the newer players and said, if you want to touch stuff, you go right ahead. You touch whatever you want. And I said, if you want to whisper in my ear, I touch something. Go right ahead. And went yeah, I want to take a box. Good boy. Said box was a hand crank that was attached to these two electrodes that would electrocute things. And did actually electrocute him. But it didn't kill him. It wasn't the end of the world. I have no joy in slaughtering you people until it's climatically appropriate.
I constantly have to fight my need to kill.
I have the habit where it's okay. So this is a CR8. They're a level 5. This should prove challenging. Oh, they killed it in like 3 hits. Okay, this is a CR5. They've got this. It's kill.
Yeah.
Or my favorite. Okay, they're like a level 2 party. They can handle anything. Here's CR 1/3. Went screaming into the night.
Check in.
Soul Slivers and Mirlock.
Not bad, not bad. All right, everybody, mic check in.
Yeah, we
Mike
all here?
check.
Yeah, we're here.
Check.
All right, cool. All right, ready to start whenever.
Now, if you want more of our stories, you might have to get comfortable, folks, as we've got some plans along the way. But none of these plans would be possible if it wasn't for spell trackers supporting us.
True.
Yep, it's a great
very
way to keep
helpful.
track of your spells. You can find it on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Yes,
So-
Jack is shrieking in the night.
Your screams do not go unheard, as you jack upon the window, so you do see some rustling in some nearby bushes. You see a pair of spotted green pointy ears slowly emerge and see
Oh, not this guy.
it's the goblin.
Oh no. My embarrassment is complete.
Jack looks down at him and he goes, "Get me out of here! Where's the
No,
exit? I know
no,
you know.
Jack,
Tell
no,
me where it
Jack.
is."
Jack, the exit's right over there. You were
No,
staying
that's not
here.
the exit. That's the death trap. Where is it? And he looks down at the goblin.
How
Hi, get me out.
did you get the things I got you?
Not yet.
Want me to go get?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. And then
Yeah,
as soon as
maybe
he
a
leaves
new-
eyesight, Jack starts screaming again.
No, Jack, please. I'm trying to sleep.
I have.
He jumps off the bars of the
midday.
window and goes to the bars of the door and starts screaming that way next.
It's midday. It's not really sleepy time.
Yeah, well, Cyphus has learned on his trips around the world to take sleep when you can,
Mm-hmm.
and that it helps pass the time.
So yes, what's
Nice.
everyone else doing?
Oh, quick question. Are there any documents or papers within 30 feet of Jack?
Not really.
Okay.
While
So what's everyone else doing?
while I'm in the cell with Deacon, I guess I'll by and ask her about what happened in the dreams experience. I'll let the Deacon go. Earlier when we first woke up before we had breakfast, I couldn't help but overhear rather loudly, even though I was taking a bath of sorts. You were talking. You, Cyphus, and Jack were talking about a dream you've experienced. Something about you being a Harrowstone. What was that about?
Nothing of any concern. The memories in Harrowstone are potent, but they are simply memories. Things like that.
As
have
you
a way
say
of-
that, the brands on your wrists begin to burn a bit deep.
I think Harrowstone and the entities there might feel very differently. Are you okay? At least,
I'll say, yes, I'm fine. Much like phantom limb syndrome, the pain is only in my head.
I hope so. I don't know, Deacon. Don't know about this whole event. I don't know about what we could do with Harrowstone, what's going on, what the Whispering doing. I don't know. Originally, when I first came to Ravengrove, I wanted just to be there for Kendra, see the professor off after everything, and well, go on to what I need to do next. Let's just say, to my end, it's not professor's death that's well, the professor's death's not the only death I've experienced in my family, for lack of a better word. I gotta get to the I gotta get to the sleeping agency. I gotta get to that one detective agency. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out right now. Sleepless Detective Agency or something? Gotta find out what happened to my uncle. I can't leave Kendra either.
Well, for the moment, you have plenty of time to think about your next move. After all, it's not as if we're going anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know why Cyphus and Jack always have to essentially put their foot in it every turn.
Well, considering Jack's nature, he has no choice but to follow his nature, and his nature seems to be putting his foot in it. I'm not terribly fond of nature, by the way.
Fair. And to be fair, my own family's end, concerning my own ancestry, I don't have any right to give Jack any grief for it. So, that's a fair argument, Deacon.
As for Cyphus, I think that his ability to control himself is in a way miraculous, considering the presence that seems to be on him. And I think by the end of our journey, we'll see what terrible miracles he's capable of.
Yeah. I think you might be right. To be fair, when I first remember Cyphus, back when I first met him, even back then, he seemed haunted. We had a lot of times on and off. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we'd be distant, and sometimes the professor is the only one that could even speak to him. I don't know. I guess ever since things in my own life, it's just I was hanging on to people and hanging on to the people I care about as best I can. Not so melodramatic. I guess just happens to be Cyphus is one of those people, and with the professor gone, and heaven knows what. I mean, whatever good benevolence in this universe knows what caused death. Outside, I suspect, is the ghost of Arrowstone. I used to want to lose him with people if I can help it. It seems like the more I try, the more I lose it. And the more I try to get a handle situation, it just goes up in flames. It's maddening.
Sometimes if you try to control too much, you'll find that trying to force things can be quite impossible. Sometimes you have to simply let go of things and let things take their natural course.
Even if it is the gods know what happens to your family again and again and again. Sorry. You're right. Maybe there is, but I don't know.
Some things simply cannot be changed.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt because y'all seem to be having a bit of a soul searching, but I noticed you got these packed lunches. You want them?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, yes. Bring me the lunch.
You can see like he's got a bit of a tear coming out of his eye. He's trying to be manly as he just hands all of you your boxed lunches.
You should really all let me cast purify food and water.
And Raphael, this smells like home. Your mother's excellent cooking. It brings a bit of joy into your heart. Everyone else, dear Lord, this could probably melt through the bars. That has such a strong odor. The deputy seems to be regretting his choices. Smells like the world wound. What is that?
Cast purify
On
food and water.
second thought, better not to bring it over here. It might
What are
explode.
you talking about? This is specialty. Not cut a fish. Give it.
Deputy?
Jack tries to use them to melt the bars.
Oh, okay. Stop it, Jack. Deputy, if we gave you some money, would you go get some of those meatballs?
I'd have to ask my dad. He's burying his face in his arm, just trying to block the smell. His eyes water.
I'm gonna diplomacy with him. And
You know, Raphael, it's weird. It's a little bland.
diplomacy, and get a nat 1, and I'm going to say, come on, does your dad have to make all the decisions for you?
I mean, he's
just
the
one
sheriff
favor.
and he's the law, so you take what you got. I'm gonna go
Fine.
outside, rub some dirt in my eyes.
Can you take the lunch with you?
He leaves it all
Oh,
within the reach.
God. Okay.
So
Well, I've eaten worse.
so there's no one in the so there's no guard immediately around.
None around.
Okay, so I take my box lunch. I open it.
It's
And
fermented turkey. I don't understand what everybody's fast.
Of course you don't.
I summon a dog, and I have the summon eat the food, and then I banish it.
You don't really get much of a chance to banish it. It just eats it and.
True.
Oh. Like I said, Jack's trying to use it to melt the bars in the back.
You know, the paint's kind of peeling.
How you eat food.
Well, I eat mine.
After you purified it, yeah, that would make sense. You made it safe.
Like I've been a world traveler because I traveled around with the professor, so I'm sure I've eaten worse.
Did you try the candied scarabs?
Where did she get scarabs?
The what?
Dale brought him.
Those were mine from my pack. I still have a few left over from the trip.
Well, I do like candied scarabs.
You know, in
Jack would
Osama, they have
definitely have
one
eaten the
hell of a
bug.
scarab. It's the size of a building. I passed it every day.
Remember
on
when
the
you-
market.
And I'll laugh and I'll say, Raphael, you remember when you first got me to try the scarabs? And you gave me the live one?
Well, in my defense, I didn't know that was the live one.
Well, and then it wriggled around, it was running around my mouth, and I was trying to spit it out, but it wouldn't cooperate. Oh, man.
Rigel, opening your box, you note that Kendra's putting a little bit more love and work into this, as she's
She put lockpicks.
she's diced a tomato to look like a heart.
She's a player. She's the bad guy, I'm telling you.
I can see why she wouldn't like Jack. Jack has never eaten her food once.
Jack, do you want to just look to see what she made for yours before dumping it?
Well, I thought it would melt through the wrapping paper, so I left the wrapping paper on and just set it next to the bars and started trying to.
There's kind of a paraffin wax kind of thing to keep it from messing up the wooden boxes.
Oh, okay. All right, then I'm gonna open it and leave it on the windowsill.
Okay, she made you a little smiley face.
She's evil, I know it.
A smiley face made out of what?
A little bit's of tomato, so it's red. But yeah, it does seem to be like melting the paint off the bars.
Won't be long now.
Anyway, I'm gonna have my shawarma in peace. Grumbling about
Shawarma's good.
my food.
So yeah, to you, Raphael, it's kind of like a butter sandwich. It's not really that great, but you know, it's there. Or it's not the spiciest that you prefer, but it's good enough. She's definitely making an effort.
Good, good.
I try mine as well, just a little bit.
You know, perhaps it's the fact that she made it for you, but you managed to bear through it. Your stomach, on the other hand, isn't enjoying the experience. And you're wondering where the bathroom is in this cell when you see a bucket.
Oh boy.
Horse book.
Deacon, I may have to try to rectify a situation, so...
Just shit your pants, I'll press fidget.
Okay.
Yes. So I turn around, I face the wall, and I begin, I don't know, using my fork, or I'm sure there's some kind of utensil in here, and I'm just carving some transmutation symbols into the wall. Maybe I can
Well,
create an escape tunnel.
my apologies, and I try to rectify the situation best I can.
Is the wall
Offer
wood,
stands.
stone, or metal?
Stone. Though you are under the impression that a jailbreak may cause greater issue and an extended stay.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Jack's gonna. I'm gonna do something. All right. This town is what town is this again?
Raven
This is Ravengrow. All right. So Ravengrow population. No. All right. I'm gonna assume that the bars are generically standard human-sized bars for the patrons of this town.
Ooh, they are a bit smaller, as there's a bit of a diversity in this. It's not.
I was just gonna walk through.
Honestly,
can I
the image
squeeze
of
through?
you just squeezing through and getting your head stuck like it's a banister is amusing.
Jack is gonna try to squeeze through. Not gonna lie.
By all means.
He does not want to be in.
Jack, please. You'll be leaving me.
I'll be back
Where are you going?
to get real
escape
food.
artist check.
Oh,
Okay. Rough. That's a tough one. I can't really argue with that. I don't have create food.
Escape artist is one of my favorite checks. But, Jack, you begin making your way through, and you find that your head's kind of too big for this. It just does not seem to want to go.
I look at the bars and I start trying to bend one of the bars out of the way to make more room for my head.
Roll me a strength check.
He really wants out desperately. So,
So, Rigel, while you're sitting on the bucket, you watch him slowly bend it with all of his might just to be able to get his head through.
As much as I want to protest, I don't think I have this. Don't really have much of the strength of the will. The will, as far as I just doing soul searching, and the strength because he things didn't turn out well with the lunch, so he doesn't really have
kind
to.
of struggling there, Jackie.
as long as he can get, once he gets his head through, he's free. Problem is, he has to
Like
get
a
the head
rat.
through. Right?
Like an octopus with its beak.
Yep. If I can just get this through, I'm free.
I like how we came up with two different things that have that problem.
Nature, it's fun. Would anyone
Did
else
I gain
want to
any
intervene
advantage
at all?
or bonus on that due to bending the bar out of the way?
You're essentially reducing the DC, but which seems to be the best way to, go about it. Lower
Yeah, that
the
makes
DC as the situation gets easier.
Can I
Okay.
see Jack attempting to escape?
Y'all can.
I'll go to say.
It's obvious because he's quiet.
I'll say, Jack, do you want to hear a story?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Wait,
sit
hold on.
down in your cell and I'll tell you a story.
Hold on.
I also have a couple of
Holding
stories
on
I can
another
tell
bar.
too.
He pulls on a different bar. Oh, Jesus, Jack, you're a beast. You really want out.
It's really, really tough to bend the other bar. Doing it the first time was almost a blessing from your father.
It's a good story.
Jack-
There's lots of murder.
Like, after this attempt, he'll sit down. Or, I should
Okay.
say, once he's outside of the bars, he's
So
like, okay, tell me your story.
you try and rush for it this time to just squeeze through real quick, and there's a brief moment where you think you got it, and nope, you stopped at the shoulder.
He looks back at his shoulders, he kind of goes, alright, you can tell me your story.
So
He
it's called The Story of the Unlucky Paladin. There was once a paladin There was once a paladin, and I'm going to kind of make this up as I go along. There was once a paladin, blah, 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 and I'm going to go on to this story about this paladin's basically long and gory adventures of perpetually making mistakes about who exactly he was supposed to fight, where and when, accidentally murdering a helpless family instead of a bunch of orcs, and keep it as violent and blood-filled as possible. And every time Jack seems like he's getting bored, I'll throw in another particularly spicy murder. And then
you're distracting him makes it so his attempts at escape are a lot less realistic. It's like he's looking at the hole and he's like staring at the hole while listening to you, and he kind of puts his fingers in the hole, and it looks like he's thinking, but you could tell he is most definitely distracted.
And all the mayor had left was a bloody stump.
But why?
The rest of you listen as Deacon tells a story that reads like a horror film, as every couple of seconds another death, and then another person dies, and then a character gets introduced and dies.
And then he decided to get into a fight
Jack
with a guy called the Mountain.
Oh, no.
Jack is completely enthused by it. He's going down!
And that's called Game of Thrones. Every time we're bored, we'll kill something.
That seems appropriate. It sounds like this world.
We're gonna lose subscribers if we keep making those
Fight.
those suggestions.
Oh. Hit or miss.
Raphael,
Game of Thrones really is.
with his head in his hands, just going, where did it all go wrong?
And then I'll get to part 8 of my story and completely lose my way, just to wrap up a bunch of plot threads way too quickly.
We're all a little confused that the one guy gets to be the king. Yeah, it doesn't.
Freedom! Must save the king!
As the story starts to unravel, so does Jack's focus.
So, it's about 6 or so in the afternoon as you all begin to realize prison life sucks. Time does not seem to want to move forward. But the sheriff comes in with Gibbs Hephaestus in chains. What happened here? What is that smell?
Dinner!
Yeah, it's Kendra's cooking. We were hoping your son would go out and buy some food for us. We'll pay.
Buy a mop. Ugh.
Yeah, your son also left without taking it with him, which I think is cruel and unusual punishment. So really, if you're okay with torture, just leave it. But
Listen, I brought in Gibbs. Gibbs is going to be doing some talking, and he's going to be explaining what he found or who did what. Isn't that right, Gibbs? Well, I won't be talking to you. It was me. I did everything. Oh, you did everything? He goes, yes, right. And the sheriff, without missing a beat, punches him hard in the gut, bringing him down to his knees.
oh, so we are okay with torture. Good to know.
At one point,
I'm
Is
gonna.
that correct? You did everything? Yeah, I did everything.
I'm gonna yell, hey Gibbs, can you go ahead and go down for the murder of 2 of your friends while you're at it?
what the?
Through watery eyes, he looks to you with a look of absolute malice. It almost sends a bit of a chill down your spine.
Yeah, I didn't kill nobody.
They're the ones that did the killing while you're bringing me in.
Oh shit.
Because, Gibbs, it's your fault the whole situation happened. It's not my fault. I'm fairly certain it is. Or should I ask Kendra about what happened? And he gets a real snarled look on his face. Go ahead and ask that. And he just slaps him to the ground.
I would eat dinner first.
Now, Gibbs, I'm not certain what kind of man you think I am, but I will not have you go bad-mouthing that lady in my station. Do you understand? Gibbs just spits on his heel. Or spits on his shoe.
Well, she certainly has the
Sheriff
sheriff
looked at-
ensorcelled. Said
Yeah.
no one out
The
loud.
sheriff. Just to it. Lick.
Ooh, gross.
What the?
Looked at him. Put off.
Yeah, Sheriff, that's a...
It's a tad strong, Sheriff, but Mr. Gibbs, as Grigori begins to count on his fingers, you have many charges against you right now, including inciting a mob, attempted murder, assault with deadly weapons, and what?
Desecration of graves.
Desecration of graves as well. Which I believe is also a crime in the Church of Pharasma itself. I'm gonna roll knowledge religion on that.
Even with an 11, not very keen on it. It's not
It is
exactly
definitely
something
frowned
they
upon.
put down as the first rule, but it's in the brochures.
So the fourth one may not stick, but the first three, there are witnesses for sure who will testify against you in a court of law.
I think for a little bit and go, no, I believe it is. Seeing as Pharasma is a caretaker of not only the dead and the graves, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty steep crime to mess with the burials. And anyway, actually,
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
yes. Oh, yes. Crime number 5, bit of a minor one. But, desecration of character as well, for calling the good professor a necromancer.
Public indecency for being ugly.
There's
Now,
no...
And I hold
can't-
up my hand to get a high five from Jack.
Oh, no,
Now,
6.
although there's
Totally.
a very large amount of evidence to support that claim, we can't prove it in a court of law.
What?
That he's ugly.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh,
that is
what about,
subjective, I guess.
what about
So-
number 7, public intoxication? Because he was clearly drunk when
Probably.
he did it too.
I want to put it past old Gibbs. So, here's how it's gonna go, Gibbs. You're gonna clean up some of your messes. We're gonna be not having any more trouble. Do I make myself clear? Gibbs gets a real snarl. If it weren't for the chains, he'd be at the sheriff's throat. Understood. Now, I think you can start with my... He, just very hesitant, takes his wrist and wipes the spit off. Alright, come with me.
Can I
And
get
the
a check
sheriff...
moves on Gibbs? I want to know what degree of homicide he's planning.
Right?
Well, what was he confessing to?
The other people that he brought in for the assault.
Oh,
Got
interesting.
him to name... He was trying to get him to name names. Gibbs looks infuriated that if he were a bit younger, a bit more agile, there would be no thought behind this. He would simply act.
the only way to describe the best way to describe what I'm thinking right now, other than, well, actually, the only way to describe my thought process right now is basically another attack dog. If it wasn't for those bars, and he tries anything with the sheriff. As much as as much as I regret my actions as far as what happened with the Professor Laramore's burial and the whole fiasco of that, it's like if it wasn't for the bars and the chains, I'd probably launch myself at Gibbs again if he tried anything with the sheriff. I did learn from what happened back then, but I'm not laying this guy manhandle anyone else. Well, I could do something about it. Or at least you get that impression when I look at it. If Deacon looks at me, looking at me like almost against the bars. Almost as if I'm gonna I'll throw them aside and just jump on Gibbs again. But that's not possible.
So, the sheriff drags him away to a cell. You'll spend a night here. You'll talk. Because I promise you, Gibbs, you will talk. And then, we'll bring the others in. And we'll see how long you'll be spending your time here. Understand? Gibbs looks to the chains around his hands and gestures for him to let him go. You know, Gibbs, they make you look a little better. How about you keep them? And shuts the door behind him. So yeah, without means of escape or things to do, Gibbs is just sitting in his cell ruminating, and anytime you look at him, he sends you back an evil.
I'd like to ask.
Be an awkward day.
I'm going to ask is, hey, why did you think he was a necromancer?
Because he spends all his time up at Harrowstone researching all the dead.
Oh.
The only time I know that do that on necromancy.
Have you seen other people up there?
No one goes up there. It's haunted.
Okay, so how would you know necromancers go up there?
Who else would go to such a place?
Fair point.
Researchers.
Fair
You
point.
can make the same argument. You can make the same argument of hunters that go in the forest. You can make the same argument of soldiers that go off to battle. Just because he was researching Harrowstone doesn't mean he was a necromancer. I should know. I knew the man all my life. Hell, if it wasn't for the simple fact we had different bloodlines, he'd probably be my uncle. Now, why is it? Now, I understand that all Usalov is haunted by some random things, the undead. But still didn't give you a right to try to stop his burial or to strike Kendra.
I'd like to read Aura on Gibbs.
Sure.
Alright, so that is going to be a DC 15 plus his hit dice, however many he has. And
Not
that
many.
will tell me his alignment aura. Gonna make a perception. Nope.
Ooh. That's kind of whack. It's perception.
Yeah.
DC's based off what?
DC is based off... there's a flat DC plus his alignment. Or not plus his alignment, plus his HD. So it's 15
Okay.
plus HD.
Alright then. He is a hard man to read. Battered and bruised by the years. A man who lives alone. You can't register on him.
Random question. How much was dinner last game?
We'll say about 3 gold.
3 gold? Okay. I forgot to reduce it. I just wanted to know what it was.
Yes, the night goes on.
Hang on, I actually have one more string to my bow in terms of figuring something out about this guy. I can also do a prognostication, which is a sense motive. I can figure out his alignment if I get a DC 15 plus his HD. So, let's give that a shot. Okay, so I figure out his alignment by doing the numerical value of his name. So I'm like, Gibbs. And I spell it out to myself. Each one of those letters has a numerical value, and then I count it all up. What do I find out, DM?
Just a moment. You find that he is neutral, but he seems to be starting to lean towards neutral.
Neutral what?
He's true neutral, but he's starting to lean towards neutral evil.
Fair point.
As you're just scanning him, trying to figure something out about him, there's certainly something off, but even with your studies of the occult, it's a bit difficult to figure out.
Hmm.
25. That's the numerical. Oh no, I didn't add I. Damn it.
Anything else for the long...
Yeah, I'd like to do an Arcana just to make sure he's not being magically compelled in any way.
Sure, go right ahead.
You know, why not? Did I not click it? There we go. I did click it. It just didn't load.
Just looking at him, no. There doesn't seem to be anything that's pushing him to be this violent, angry fellow. It seems more of the demon of the bottle that does it.
Okay. Just making sure there's no ghost or nothing.
Jack's looking around for magic, and then he's
Is
going
he-
to make another escape attempt.
Is he big enough to have been what the cat described?
He's a pretty big guy.
Hmm. We'll see at nightfall if he gets possessed.
So, Jack, as you're trying to make your escape, a rock falls through the window. And then another rock falls through.
Jack jumps back up to the window.
A few sharpened sticks are being thrown as the goblin is doing his best to chuck him through.
Oh no, please, no, 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 no,
Jack's
no, no, no,
collecting them
no,
all.
no, no.
What?
Officer! Officer!
The deputy puts down his book. Yes?
Someone is throwing rocks and sticks into the cell.
That's right.
Alright.
Arrest them.
He
They're
draws
clearly
his
trying to harm me.
sleeves and begins making his way. Jack, you can see as he's getting ready to chuck the bucket with what appears to be a very large slug that's kind of curled up in on itself. He hears someone coming around and he bolts with the bucket in hand.
He bolts with the bucket in hand.
Yes, not throwing the slug to you.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm picking up the sticks and rocks and putting them out the bars.
Nope.
I'm like, this is just gonna
Totally
get us in
grabbing-
trouble.
I'm grabbing at least one good-sized stick and at least another hand-sized rock.
Alright, I'll wink at him. And then I'll be like, you know, these in the cell is gonna get us in trouble. We can't have them.
I'm making a key. We're getting out.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that.
He's outside.
There's a window.
So?
The deputy's looking around trying to figure out who was chucking rocks through, and then makes his.
Well, they must be gone. Sorry to waste your time, detective. Can you get these rocks and sticks out of here?
Sure. And he
Thank you.
for you to hand him the sticks and rocks.
I've already pushed them out the
Alright,
bar.
then he takes them and chucks them in a trash can. Although he looks back and then he pulls one of the stones out. This would be perfect for skipping.
What'd you say?
For
He
skipping.
mutters to himself that'd be perfect for skipping.
Jack looks. Hold on.
I only have about 15-20 minutes left. Gentlemen, if we can
So,
wrap it up soon.
anything else everyone wants to do for the rest of the night?
Yeah. Well, technically, Jack's going to make his escape attempt, but not to actually escape. It's more along the lines of he wants to break out, get food, and break back in.
A pseudo escape attempt. All right, let's give it one more escape artist check before we
Are
call
they
it.
not going to feed us?
I mean, they brought food.
When?
Just over the course of your time in there. It's basically just some cheese, bread, and thing.
So that's a no on paying you to go get us, like, good food.
Indeed, that does appear to be the case. You are making no progress, Jack. It almost feels like the bars
have fixed themselves.
But
All
it's
right, well.
just in your poor luck.
Nothing we could do, Jack. Just settle down.
Well, he waits for the guard to settle down in his seat, and then as soon as he does, he curls up next to the bar. He waits for him to look like he's about to calm down, put his head down, and then he starts yelling at him.
What's he yelling?
Let me out! Get me out of here! You can't leave me
Jack.
locked up in here! This is an injustice to my kind! This indecency will not stand! I will have to sleep!
So, as the screamings of Jack yelling Attica, I think will come to an end. Our party in one of their darker moments, as Harrowstone ruminates and grows in power, and they find themselves behind bars of a different.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining us on this incarceration episode of Carrion Crown. With Jack, it might have been the Carry-On Crown.
Carry
on and on. I had no idea how the session was going to go, and you guys said that one thing is like, well, he heard that.
All right.
We really need to
all right,
listen
guys,
to
say
the
goodbye.
first episode.
Thank you for
Goodbye,
joining us.
guys.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.
Later.
I'll talk for now.